Hello, wait, actually, sorry. Okay, hello everyone, Soul17 here. Let me get through this like usual. I do not own the picture, and this is not a paid video. Okay, so here's the thing. I am in a good mood, and it's 4:50 in the morning. Before anyone asks, why am I not asleep? It's legit like I always say. I have trouble sleeping, and yeah, I just wasn't tired. So, I'm in a good mood because of my school. I'm not in a certain class no more, so I'm happy. So, yeah. Anyways, though, I decided to work on this part. I didn't work on something Saturday like I wanted to because I was uploading the solo leveling Naruto. So I decided to make this part, and I came up with 3 different ideas. One Issei one, another Deku one, and another Bell one. And maybe another Naruto one, but that's a crossover. Well, more like I've been working on that story idea for a while, and I keep forgetting to make it. So, just know, I am going to be focusing on one character of the story and switch off into another one. So it's going to be like one one part of the what if, and that crossover one is going to be in 2 different universes. So it's going to be focused on Deku. I'm just going to say it. Focus on Deku for a bit on one part, and then focus on Naruto. But it will be like the first 2 or 3 is just him getting into UA, so yeah. Anyways, enough about that. Let's just get into this. So, last time by the way, I am making him be, like I said, something happens with him because of his family name. And, well, I am thinking about, I came up with an idea that I think you guys will like. So, it's kind of to do with Aizawa. Anyways, just know this. Aizawa will be a key figure to make Izuku stay in UA. So, yeah, let's just get into this. Enough talk. This will only probably be maybe a 50-minute video, truthfully, because I know I will be tired. Yeah, so, enough of me rambling. Let's get into this. This is what Deku became Springtrap. Part 2. Finally, after 8 months. You can just tell I'm in a good mood. I'm joking around a lot. Okay, so, as we have Deku, who passed out due to never teleporting something that big ever from the Zero Pointer's upper half. First time ever teleporting something like that. And, well, he's basically in UA in Cover Girl's office, basically the nurse's office, unconscious. And then we have a man who's, basically sitting in the chair, waiting for him. As he just sighs, he goes, Zuko, you have to know your limit, kiddo. Seriously. In which this man is, just staring at Zuko with a smile and basically the look of proud. He's just smiling because he's proud of him. Now, though, we then have someone walk into the room. And, well, this person looks back and he goes, Hey, Nezu. It's been a while, hasn't it? As then Nezu closes his door and goes like, Yes, Hisashi, it has. How have you been? Which he goes, Good. Thanks for not, sending my kid away right away. Most of the hero schools would just because of, Which, Nezu goes like, Not at all. Why should I send away one of the few families that keep going throughout the generations of being heroes, or being great people, even though, your family history, which Hisashi nods, and then he goes, but it's mostly due to a favor of, I was looking out for you. I was looking out for you when you were a kid. And I am technically this boy's godfather, in his way. Which Asashi does chuckle at that. He was like, yeah, can't believe your old dad left you in charge of me after he died. Number 3 hero, surprisingly, in which Nezu nods. So, Charlie has told me everything about him. The physical embodiment of agony, aka Remnant. He has a lot of abilities. Do you think he'll become more than what, well, anyone in the family could ever have? He already has teleportation down. What else could he do? Which Sasashi just, says truthfully at him. He was like, I don't know. But he does have elemental abilities, and he's immune to all elements. Fire, wind, water, earth. Probably even, ice and lightning. Anything, really. Which Nezu nods. He was like, yes, that's understandable. But now, can he eat... how should I say this? Does he need to feed off a remnant? Which Hisashi just shrugs. Only Henry probably had some notes on my, grandfather on about it. He goes, oh, you mean William? He goes, yeah. But they were good friends still. He never knew William killed Charlie, so... until his deathbed. Which... well, Nezu does nod again. He goes, that is quite true. Charlie does have notes from William. And she understands them pretty well since he taught her about it. And what's the meaning behind it. Which... Hisashi does say, yep, that is true. Anyways, did my son get in? He goes, oh, yes. And quite amazing, actually. I was really surprised to see him just shooting fire out of his fist. What next? He can summon chains from nowhere, from the ground itself, and absorb agony from people? Actually, that could be a possibility. He would be a great hero. Well, I'm just here to tell you that and see how he's doing. Is there anything else you'd like to tell me before I go? In which Sashi goes, yeah. If anything happens to me while I'm away, can you look after them? Inko and Izuku for me? Which he goes, oh? Are you asking me to be a godfather of you? Well, godfather for you again? Just like your father. Which Nezu just, looks at him with a gleam in his eye, which Sasashi rose the back of his head. He was like, yeah, well, the Aftons always have trouble coming to them, even though we don't want it. And besides, you only said yes to my dad because he saved you. In which Nezu does nod. He was like, your father was, agony allowed him to live for quite a long time. So, of course, he was a dear friend of mine. He even helped Shota. Sorry, mixed up a little. It's hard. But basically, Aizawa out when he was younger. Which Hasashi nods. He was like, so, how is Aizawa? Oh, quite well. He's perfectly fine, but always tired. I mean, he looks up to your father like he's a natural hero. And he tries to be the best hero he can, in his own way. In which Hasashi does smile. He was like, but does he still think my dad is the best hero out there who should have been number 1? Besides All Might, if he was still around? Which Nezu goes, oh yes, indeed, he does. And, to be honest, your father was smarter than All Might, and I can tell you that much. Which Hisashi does smile at that. And then, they hear someone groan. He's like, my body hurts. What happened? In which Hasashi goes, "Oh, well, you just teleport probably a 1.5 kiloton of metal into it and far into the distance and then passed out. Why? Does it hurt?" He was like, "Yes, almost all my body part hurts. The only thing that doesn't hurt is my fingers and toes." In which, well, Hasashi just looks at him and smiles. And then he goes, "Do you want to know if you got in?" He's like, when I get a letter in or something, Dad?" Which then he hears Nezu says, "Oh, well, I'm the principal of UA." Nezu tries to look behind Hasashi but can't, which Hasashi goes, "Oh, wait." So he gets out of the chair, he says, "Come on, Nezu." So basically, Nezu gets up, to the chair, jumps on, and he goes like, "Thank you, Hasashi." Which he goes, "Hello there," as he puts up his, arm and waving hi. So, which Izuku goes like, "I would say hello and shake your hand, but too much pain." Which Nezu goes, "That is quite understandable. But I can tell you if you got in. You did quite well, actually. You destroyed a lot of robots. To the point where I had to send out the zero-pointer early. And you basically saved someone and destroyed it very easily. That was quite impressive, you young Midoriya. Very impressive. Indeed." Which he was like, "Thanks. So, did I get in?" He goes, "Oh, yes. Top grade. Or should I say score, in my opinion." Which Izuku was like, "It could have not been that many points, right? First place, 125. Which Izuku just looks at him and he's like, 100? Who was second? Bakugo Katsuki. Figures as much. Which then basically... Well, Charlie did tell Hasashi about their relationship. He was like, "So, you and Bakugo are cool?" He was like, yeah, I mean, I got my emotions back." Which, basically, Nezu was quite curious of that. He goes, "May I ask?" He goes, "Oh, yeah. I technically was coming emotional as Bakugo Katsuki. I mean, we're most, sort of friends-ish, and then, well, kind of tried to be nice outside of school. Inside school was a bully because I was, quote-unquote, quirkless. You guys do talk a little bit loud." Which Nezu and Hisashi's, just kind of, well, Nezu's, cheeks go red, basically faces going red, and along with Hisashi's. And then he was like, "So I know." He was like, "Yep. Well then. Well, I do know what happened to you because of Charlie, and I'm quite amazed that you actually became the physical embodiment of Remnant. Note, I will not ask for you to tell me the secrets or anything. I do not want to dabble in that. I would like to dabble in many things, but not that. That is something, well, far beyond my capability and, well, if I had any humanity." Which Izuku, does suddenly glitch, and then after he stops, he stretches. He goes, "Can't blame you. Remnant is really tricky. You have to basically cause suffering to others and, well, depending on..." Oh, I'm just saying this from my own, for the basically the video. I don't know if it's true or not. So, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Please don't, basically leave in the comment on how it really works. Honestly, it's just in the video. Just for the video's sake, it's just, Alright, so it's basically something that's very dangerous. It can latch onto something and give it life. That's all I'm willing to say. Which, then as it goes, that would explain about the animatronics becoming alive again before they get an AI. Interesting. But, like I said, nothing more shall be said. He goes, "Yeah, So, am I going to be in the hero course to test out what I can do and stuff? I only know about, well, the only thing that you said about the capabilities of what I can do. What about Grandpa? Whatever happened to him, Dad? Which, well, Hitachi sighs. We're like, a villain call for one. Basically, he's the number one villain of the, well, Japan. He works for someone who's basically way more powerful than him. And that guy is the number one villain in the world. Only the strongest hero in the world can take him on. But for some weird reason, him and the number one hero of the world have this weird friendship. Which Izuku was like, wait, is it like they're friends, but they're also enemies, but he's a villain that will help out the hero to save the day, and then suddenly they go back to being enemies again, but it's like every so often. It's actually kind of amazing why they're just not, like, friends, which he does nod. He goes, wow, that is kind of a cliche thing, but hey, I mean, villains are villains, but even they don't want the world to be destroyed. Which Nezu goes, that is true. He did that when I asked him. He goes, wait, you met the number one villain? He goes, oh yes, he loves tea. He goes, well then. So, since I am somehow healed, I don't understand how I did, I just love being healed. Can I go home? He goes, oh yes, and welcome to UA. The letter will come in along with the uniform. Or, well, I bet you could just make one of your own. Also, you're allowed to use your transformations. Just so you know. But I'm quite curious. Charlie said you can have, well, bunny ears and tail. Is that true? And then all of a sudden Zuko stands up, stretches more, and then while he's stretching, bunny ears, and then a tail appears. And he goes like, yep. Did he? And then all of a sudden the base of the ears move and the tail moves. It's like, yeah, still kind of getting used to this. It's interesting. You are a very interesting boy. I cannot wait for you to come to UA. It'll be very lively here, I have a feeling. Good day to you, Midoriya. And, or should I say, Afton. And, I cannot wait to see what type of hero you'll be. As basically Nezu jumps down from the chair and leaves. And then he goes, so, he's my godfather now, huh? Which Sasha goes like, yeah, he was mine too. Is he? Oh yeah, he's really good. I mean, he taught me everything I knew. I mean, my basically anything that helped with a business, plus science. I mean, had to make something with an AI and coding. Which, he goes, true. True. That is true, Dad. Give him a minute, guys. Okay, sorry. Anyways, so, Sasha goes like, well, let's get going. He goes, yeah, I don't want to teleport today. I don't want to teleport home. So let's go. He's like, okay. So basically they leave, and they get home. Inko, asks how it go. Uzuku tells her what happened. And she gets mad at him, goes like, and then he tells, but I got in, and I was, well, so it's not really that bad. Which Inko just sighs and be like, and it looks like I can heal myself after injuries. Which he goes like, huh? So he just goes to the kitchen, cuts his hand on a knife, which Inko's freaking out. She's gonna run over to get the first aid kit. But Zuko like, hold up, Mom, watch. As he's just holding up his hand right in front of her to see, she's like, okay. All of a sudden, something's, she sees his hand starts to glitch, and then all of a sudden it's healed. And she's like, he was like, remnants, right? He goes, you're gonna make me have a heart attack, son. He was like, oh, please. I don't have to try to bring you back to life. Which she was like, please don't. I don't want you to. He was like, Mom, I'm the physical manifestation of remnants. I probably have I could probably not run out of remnants, so I don't have to kill no one. I mean, of course it'll be way more potent if I did, but I'm not gonna try. Too messy. Which, Hasashi does nod. He's like, yep, I know that feeling. Wanted to do that for my dad. He's like, yeah, fun. Basically, how did he kill someone that was basically somewhat immortal? Which Hasashi was like, your grandfather was not immortal. He can live longer and heal fast. That was it. I mean, when you basically, even from a heart that was basically punctured, he could heal. But the thing is, All For One basically disintegrate his whole body. There's no coming back from that, son. Which is because I was like, I see. I'm gonna come up with a way to make sure this All For One guy learns his place and lesson. As Zuko walks away, which Iku was like, I do not like that look in his eye when he said that. Hasashi just shrugged, be like, I've seen it so many times before. Even I had it when I was his age. Let him be. Which he was like, are you? He was like, yeah. Remember, I'm an Afton, he's an Afton. We're born to be crazy and deranged, I think. In some way or form. And besides, he's probably just gonna make him have a mental breakdown and make him be crazy enough to be in a mental hospital. Besides, All Might will punch his face so hard and he probably doesn't even have an upper face no more. So basically he's just a potato head. Which Iku was like, how did you? He was like, I have a few friends in the Hero Society. They tell me stuff. Which she was like, oh, well, that's interesting. He's like, your dad was the former number 3 hero. You got a lot of friends that are heroes. Which Inko was shocked by. She was like, you never told me your dad was the number 3 hero. He's like, oh, I thought I told you on that first date. But my dad. But she was like, and her, her face goes red out of embarrassment. He just chuckles about that. He goes, sweetie, come here. So basically he hugs her and pats her head. He was like, I'm gonna have to basically go back to America soon. I can only be here for a few more days. Sorry. Which he goes, it's no problem. What about the missing children? And he goes, which basically he goes, for some reason Cassidy's gone. Basically Charlie says Fritz, Susie, Jeremy. Wait, oh, give me a minute. Sorry. Gabriel are basically fine. I mean, they actually said they would like to become animatronics again, so they, well, just to be not bored. They say as it goes, it's pretty much boring. Besides, Izuku became the suit that they were latched onto, so yeah. But she goes, I see. Well, I may still be able to do something. Which Hasashi does nod. Meanwhile, Pazuku, he goes to his room. And when he basically closes the door, he just sighs. Like, now I need to come up with different ideas how to make this All For One guy suffer for killing my grandfather. As when he looks to his right, he sees Cassidy at his desk, looking through his hero notes, and she goes, "Hi," not even looking at him, just waving her hand at him, and then he goes, "Hello. What are you doing in my room?" She's like, "Oh, you weren't here, and I was bored, so I decided to go for your stuff." He was like, "Okay, again, why are you here?" She goes, "Like I said, to talk to you. I thought you were smart." He's like, Okay, to be fair, when you have somebody who led into your death just appear in your room and basically just want to see you, you have to know there's more than that. Especially who hates you." Where she does think about that, and she goes, "True. Well, truthfully, I am here to see you. Secondly, I'm here to make sure you don't, try anything." And thirdly, even though I hate you, Gabriel and Susie did say something that did make me feel bad. He goes, "Oh, really then, Cassidy? What was it?" Basically, they said I didn't know you, and for whatever this how happened to you is may have because of some things I don't know. Which Izuku just looks at her and just nodding. He goes like, "Yep, yep, that is true. If you and basically you have also heard that Afton family has always suffered in some way or form. My suffering was because of bullying, and well, no one really cared for Corkless, so yeah." Goes, I know. I talked to Charlie about it, but anyways, and she closes the book, and he goes like, "Wait, how are you able to do that?" And he goes, and then he just thinks, "Is your soul somehow containing remnants?" And she goes, "No, I just focus." And then she flies up out of the chair. And she goes, "So I don't want to go to into an animatronic or go to wherever I'm going to go. I want to get to know you, Izuku Midoriya, Afton." It was Midoriya's fine. So, Cassidy, do you? How should I say this? Do you want to know anything about me? She goes, yes, but for right now, let's just talk. As she basically flies to his bed and just sits down. And then he sighs, he goes, "Well, I know you're a kid, but you also haven't lived for so long. How, man, how long has it been since you've been known as it goes? 2,000? 300 years?" She goes, "Never ask a lady about her age." He goes, fair point, my apologies." And when she goes, "It's no problem." Hold up. Okay, so basically, Cassidy looks at Zuko for a minute and goes like, well, your speech is a little bit different than when I last saw you." He goes, "Oh, well, kinda. How should I say this? It's kind of due to William's remnant. It's basically what was in there is kind of his genetic code, so even though I'm a part of, the family, it's his manners and phrasing kind of slips out every once in a while." "Sorry?" And where she just looks at him, blinking, and just shrugs it off. And basically goes, and I had something planned for him. He had to go blind. Which he goes, "Oh, what was it?" And then she goes, "Oh, his own personal HE double hockey sticks." He goes, "Really?" She goes, "Yep. He was gonna be, in that place and being tortured for all eternity." And when Shizuko just looks at her, be like, blinking. He goes, "You do realize, even though that's his soul, he still attains remnant. And the more remnant you give him, the stronger he'll become. And he could have broken out of his own personal torture session that you make for him. And he could have become something way more deadlier and dangerous." Which Cassidy's eyes widen. And then she's like thinking about it, and then, her face goes pale. She goes, "You're right. He could have. Oh my god." And he just pats her on the head. He was like, "No, Cassidy. It's perfectly fine. He's not around. He went to where he needed to go to. Wherever he is, we do not know." Which she does not. And while they talk, Hasashi does come up. He goes, "Hey, Zuko." "Cassidy?" "Hasashi, what are you doing here?" She was talking to Izuku. Which then Hasashi looks over at Izuku. He just nods, and he was like, alright then. Dinner's gonna be ready soon, and, yeah. So, Cassidy, you're gonna be staying here? She does nod. He goes, alright. Even though you're a ghost, no sleeping in my son's room. She goes, alright. I mean, I really wasn't going to. He goes, good. Because I did not want to wake up with a freaking kid next to me in the morning. She goes, why, have something to hide? He goes, no. It just would be weird for me. And I mean, because I expect my own kid to do that, or someone I adopt or take care of, and they treat me like a parent, not someone who may try to kill me in my sleep. Where she does look away from him, and he goes like, I don't know what you're talking about. He goes, sure, Cassidy, sure. So, after that, we have a little bit of a time skip. So, 7 days later, time skip, Izuku, basically is in front of UA. He's just looking at it with a smile. He goes, UA, hi. Well, this will be a pleasant surprise. Well, to see who got in. But she was like, so, this Baku guy, he was the one who goes, yep. She was, interesting. Why he ain't dead? He goes, unlike you, I do not want to take revenge. She goes, okay. But if you want to, he goes, no, I will not sprint lock him. He goes, fun. He goes, and you're like William. He goes, I will never be like... You basically have murdered more night guards than he could. He's only killed about you and the other missing children. She goes, fair point. He goes, yeah, so anyways, shush. I don't want people to think I'm weird. I mean, I have purple hair, green and black. Dark greenish black. I'm already weird. And she goes, yep, along with your eyes. Purple. How are you okay with it? He was like, easy. Now shush. And so, Zuko is looking around UA until he finds a map and then he gets to class 1A. So the same scene will happen like it does in canon, but the only difference is when Bakugo sees Izuku, he was like, dude, what's up? He's like, Bakugo. Katsuki? He was like, Katsuki. What's up? He goes, nothing much. You? He goes like, same. Besides, as he basically, has his eyes pointed to the side, which he does not. Yes, he does know about Cassidy, and yes, somehow Izuku gave him the ability to see Remnant through giving him glasses. Well, not see Remnant, I mean see the missing children with glasses on that he gave him, that he created from Remnant. I'm not going to go into detail about it, but anyways. One yawn. Let's see how long it can last. It's almost 5:30. Yeah. A good 10 minutes would do, maybe. 40. 40. Okay. So, he just nodded. Yeah. Anyways, hope the teacher's here soon. I'm getting tired of the four eyes over here. He was like, I can see why he has a stick far up his. He was, yeah, we get it. He goes, yep. So Izuku sits down, looks at the, sits in his seat like he's in canon, puts his hand on his, chin and just looking out the window. Now, everything will go the same, like in canon. But the only difference is, I'm taking Invisible Girl out of Class 1A, and I'm changing... No. Better thing. Mineta. I'm gonna be changing Mineta in with someone else for later. I will basically I'll say her name, and she'll be from Class 1B, so I'll say her name. Give me a minute. Okay, her name is Ryuko Yanagi. Basically her quirk is Poltergeist. If you know who she is, then great. If you don't know, just look her up. Just look up Class 1, My Hero Academia Class 1B, characters. Alright. So anyways, continuing on. Now, as Izuku's waiting, Iida just keeps on talking to Bako while Bako just ignores him. Uraraka basically comes in and she'll thank Izuku when she sees him. And he goes, "Oh, hi." Just, "Hi, thank you for saving me." He goes, "Oh? Oh yeah, hope you were okay. Sorry for me, passing out. That was the first time I ever teleported something away. That big, so." And she goes, "Oh, no, it was fine. I was perfectly fine after I got out. But, how about you?" He's like, "Oh, me? I'm fine. I was okay. And, well, you should probably sit down. The teacher's watching." As basically he looks over at the door, which Aizawa's just there watching. Kind of surprised he was able to, notice him. Which everyone just, which she does look and see, and she goes, "Oh, thanks." She runs over to a seat and just sits down. He goes, "She seems nice, but, not my type. Unfortunately. I have a feeling we wouldn't make a good, team slash couple. Possibilities are infinite." So, Aizawa was like, "Hello there, problem children. I'm Shota Aizawa. And, well, I'll be your teacher for the next 3 years." Which everyone just looking at him and be like, "Yeah, really? This guy?" That's what's in their minds. He goes, "No, then. Here's the thing. Put on these uniforms and go out to, well, not uniforms, put on these these gym clothes and go out to the field. We're having a quirk apprehension test." Which Uraraka raised her hand and goes like, "But we already had one. Shouldn't we be going to orientation?" In which Aizawa says, "Not in this class, we don't. We only have 3 years to make you into proper heroes. So time is, precious time for training cannot be, in that sort of, loss of time. So, take these gym clothes and get out there." In which Izuku just gets up and just, grabs it. Mako does too, and so everyone else does. And so the exact same thing would happen in the locker room, but the only difference is this: when Mineta is about to, look, instead of Jiro basically, hit him in the eye, Izuku pulls him back. He goes, "Whoa there! We don't want to have an accident now, do we? I mean, who could have hurt you in that size of a hole?" Which he was like, "Huh? What do you mean?" He's like, "Think about it, Mineta, right?" Hold up. Alright, sorry about that. Anyways, so he goes, "Yeah, Mineta." And he was like, "Good. No one has told me anyone's names." So basically Kirishima was like, "Oh, yeah, name's Kirishima. NG Kirishima." Then basically it's just Denki Kaminari and so on and so forth. And Iida Senjutsu. And he's like, "Cool. Now, anyways, like I was saying to you, Mineta, this hole is big enough for someone's quirk to basically poke you in the eye and hurt you very badly. And since I'm a nice guy, I'm gonna do you a favor and, prevent you from getting hurt. All I need you to do is close your eyes." He was like, "Okay." So then all of a sudden earmuffs appear as Mineta did close his eyes. He puts on the earmuffs, and then he knocks on the wall. He's like, "Kyoka, wait, no, wait, Kyoka Jiro, right?" Which she goes, yeah." He goes, "Please get your earphones away from the wall. Well, your jacks away from the wall, please. I don't know how this will affect you, and take a few steps back." In which she was like, okay, so she does, and then all of a sudden the wall, the part of the wall with the actual like hole in it, along with the paper, starts to glitch, and then all of a sudden the wall is perfectly fine with no hole. He goes, "Don't worry about it now," and then basically he just covers up the hole, and then he takes off the earmuffs. He's like, and basically the earmuffs disappear. He's like, "Now look." As Mineta basically goes over to where the paper was, open, like pulls it down. There's no hole in the wall. He goes, "Wait, what happened?" He was like, "I don't know. Does anyone know?" Which they just shrug, which Mineta goes like, "What did you do?" He's like, "I had the window up." He was like, "Da da da. We're here to be heroes, not to be perverts. If you're here to be a pervert, go to a different class." Which he's like, "Get, why you?" As then all of a sudden a knife appears around Mineta, or should I say, multiple knives appear around Mineta with purple energy coming off on them. He goes, with Izuku just having his finger up, he's like, "Now, do you want to finish that sentence?" And he's just looking at Mineta with his eyes glowing purple, which he's like, "No, sir." He's like, "Good." As it just disappears, he's like, "See you on the training field." As then he just walks away. Bako just looks at where he was, and he just smiles. He goes, "The guy got spunk." Like it. Which Kirishima goes like, wasn't that kind of unmanly of him? Which he was like, "Yes, that was very disrespectful." But he just have his hands chopping, which Denki's like, "I don't know, man. Even though I'm also the same like Mineta, but at least I, control it." Mineta kind of deserved it. He was like, "Traitor!" Mineta says. He's like, which Denki just shrugs. He's like, "Hey, I may be stupid, but I ain't stupid on this." And he just leaves. Bakugo just says, "I don't care about you extras." Well, besides Izuku. So, yeah. He just leaves. He was like, and then basically he's like, "Gah, this is gonna be very difficult to be myself around them." And then he kind of just, smiles a little bit at that. So, he goes, "But it's gonna be a really fun challenge." So, when Izuku and everyone arrives, Aizawa goes like, "Not bad. Alright. Now, when the first place person would come up, after I have an example, which then he looks at it, he goes, "Eeny, meeny, miny, you." As he points to Bakugo. He's like, "Come over here." It's like, which Bakugo does. He goes like, "So how far did you throw?" He goes, 35 meters. 65 meters without my quirk. Because it's the ball throw. Which he was like, "Cool, alright." I think that's like the same thing canon, hopefully. And then he was like, "Now, use your quirk." So when Bakugo does throw, he goes yell out, "Die!" And then it's the same thing in canon. He was like, "Alright." Which then everyone is hyped up because they can use their quirks. Which then Mina says the unfortunate thing about saying this is gonna be fun. In which Deku just sighs, be like, "Thank you, Miss Enthusiastic Alien." In which she goes, "Huh?" And then basically, as I was like, "Fun, you say? Alright then. How about whoever basically is in last place gets expelled?" Which they're all shocked and basically Araka's saying that's unfair. Which then Izuku, before Aizawa could say anything, he was like, "Well, life isn't fair, Ochako or Araka. Right?" Which he was like, "Yeah, that's my name." He's like, "Well then, good. Life is not fair. Life is cruel and pain. It basically does not care for what we want or what we desire. Basically, natural disasters, people taking our loved ones away. Nothing in this world can bring, true happiness unless you take it, take whatever you can by the horns and make it. And even that can be difficult. And besides, he's the one who decides what's fair and not in this class. So, I don't want you to leave, so I recommend you don't question his tactics on teaching. In which Aizawa nods and he goes like, and thank you for suggesting that, Midoriya. He goes, no problem, Teach. I just want to get through the day. I'm getting quite tired. Not of this class or you, just I was up all night. In which she does nod. He goes, try to drink some coffee. He goes, oh, I tried. Didn't wake me up. Wasn't the right amount of coffee that I usually drink in the morning. I was in a rush because I was late. Which I was always just looking at me and goes like, how much coffee do you drink? I have to take a very strong coffee, which I have multiple mixtures of it into one thing of coffee. Different coffees mixed into one. I'm a heavy sleeper and it takes me a long time to wake up. Which as I was looking at him and just nods. So, after that, everything will go exactly the same, but the only thing is, as I always said, he'll have the first place person to do the ball from afterwards. When it's time. So Izuku passes everything, almost. The physical portion, his strength is basically, he gets the meter up to, the near, somewhere in between the middle and the end. Which, then, when it's basically the ball throw, or the strength meter, yeah, that's what I meant. And it's the ball throw. Aizawa looks at Izuku, he goes like, how far can you throw it? He goes, only about maybe 25 meters. I wasn't that strong back in middle school. Which Aizawa does not. He's like, now, throw with your quirk. He goes, okay. How far? He goes, huh? How far? He goes, with all your strength. He goes, alright. Suzuki goes in the middle, kind of, has something happening to his arm. As basically everyone can see this purple glow on it as veins starting to appear on it. And then, basically Aizawa is just curious. He basically tries to deactivate what he thinks is a quirk, and when he throws it, it basically just launches, breaking 2 sound barriers, and then lands in a pond in Japan. He goes like, how far was that? He goes, 3,755 meters. Interesting. And basically, after Aizawa's hair goes down, Izuku kind of already knows what Aizawa did. Because, no offense, even Izuku would know who a Razorhead is. And he goes, basically Razorhead just looking at Izuku. He goes, what's the problem, Teach? When she goes, nothing. Please, go back over. He's like, sure. So basically Izuku's walking away past Aizawa, and then Aizawa just hears a whisper. He goes like, what's wrong? Can't erase something that's not there. Which Aizawa's eyes widen and, he looks at Izuku just walking away with a grin on his face. Aizawa then smiles and thinks, this kid is something else. So, yeah. In this case, Aizawa does know about the remnant and, that Izuku has and what happened to him. So he he knows about the transformations and these powers, and that he doesn't understand. He didn't believe it was not a quirk until now. Be cautious. So yeah. So anyways, after that happens, after that, the next thing will be is just the fight with the hero versus villains. But that'll be for next time. I need to go to bed, guys. Sorry. I hope you guys have a nice day, night, wherever you are, and bye.